Well, the other shoe had to drop at some point, right? Is that where it is? Is that how it feels as being a Jet fan? The New York Jets lose star offensive lineman. Don't even want to call him a guard. Star offensive lineman. Arguably the team's MVP. Jets lose Elijah Vera-Tucker to a torn triceps. Going to require surgery. He is out for the season. Have we ever had a game that felt like a game that we won that felt so much like a loss? Like, you might have to go back to like the tanking year to where that kind of felt. Oh man, this is rough. What do? What is the answer? The answer is next man up. We're not making it easy on ourselves. Not that the Jets could have done anything to prevent these injuries. And I know it has nothing to do with Elijah Moore, but I can't help but think, like, this dude has the negative, we were positive vibes only up until this past week. And then Elijah Moore doesn't make the trip. He's sitting at home with this voodoo doll just stabbing Breece Hall's knee and ripping on Vera-Tucker's shoulder. I'm speaking tongue-in-cheek. I know he wasn't doing that. No, but man, from a fan, that's sure as hell what it feels like. Vera-Tucker has been awesome. Moves from guard to tackle, literally 4 different positions in less than a year. One of the best players that the Jets have drafted in a long time. A leader of men. Done for the year. His leadership can still be used. He will be on the sideline. But man, it feels like someone just stepped on our chest. That's what it comes down to. Just a brutal, brutal season. When everything's going so well, you got to figure it's going to start coming crashing down. Trade deadline's coming up. Did you just try to make a move for an offensive lineman? I don't know what you're going to do. Saleh said Fant's not coming back this week. I don't know how much longer Mitchell's out. Just brutal. See some of your comments coming in. You guys are just as frustrated as I am. Guido says, this sucks. Understatement of the century. Jay Spector, can we ever have nice things as Jet fans? No, it feels like the football gods are just like, you're having too much success. What are you doing? No. Get back down there. Not allowed to have fun. Aaron says, season is not over. The Jets right now have a 61% chance of making the playoffs. I'm not going to lie. When you lose your 2 best offensive players, and then your 3rd best offensive player in Corey Davis is like week to week with a knee injury, that sucks. That sucks. Like, literally, Patriot Week's coming up. I was ready to like kick somebody in the teeth. And this is where we're at. I know the season's not over, but man, I'm certainly going to take this day and a half, 2 days to really grieve over what could have been a really, really special season. Guido says, but if we are trading for someone, we need to trade for a running back with Fant and Mitchell coming back. I'm open to the idea of possibly making a move for a running back. A little more so than I was yesterday, I think. Chris says, my balls hurt badly, Ryan. I feel like my dog just died. Yeah, dude, it's brutal. Absolutely brutal. There's a poll in the live chat. Which would you prefer? The loss of AVT, the loss of Breece Hall, or a swift kick to the nuts? I think I know where this one's going to go. So if you're in the live chat on YouTube, you can jump into that. V-Man comes in, says, yesterday was truly a Pyrrhic victory. Never heard that word before. But we can't let this loss get to us. Keep going. Next man up. Guys, crush Pats this Sunday. Look, we're going to need Zach Wilson to step up. Like, that's flat out what it is. Michael Carter, Zach Wilson, Garrett Wilson, the tight ends. If Elijah Moore decides he's ready to be a team player, he can get some targets. Man, could we have gotten worse news over the course of the last, has it been 12 hours since this happened? No, more than that. I guess we heard about Brees probably around 6 o'clock yesterday, 7 o'clock yesterday. Ugh. I don't know. Kevin Callahan says, I was thinking same thing about Moore. LOL, his damn bad juju. Right? Like, Elijah Moore didn't even do anything in this game, and I'm just like, I'm mad at him. It's like, that's the irrational fan in me right now. Al Perez, and tell you one thing, Jets will be super tough next season. That's, I guess the silver lining, right? Like, we have some really special players that will be coming back for next year. And anything that we see now is guys getting playing time to hopefully help us next year. Brutal. Mark Friedman says, no to a running back rental. So as I'm sort of sitting here thinking about what I wanted to do, and maybe this changes now that Vera-Tucker's not there, because at least if you have a stout offensive line, you kind of have a little bit more to kind of figure out. You still have Brown, who had a horrible game yesterday, but you're not going to face the Broncos every week. Tomlinson had a bad game yesterday, but again, tough defense. Maybe you can still run on that left-hand side and just sort of make do on the right-hand side. If you trade for a running back, the one I'd be looking at, I think, closely is Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt's an interesting one because I think he's a starting running back on a lot of teams. And he doesn't want to be in Cleveland. He was suspended 8 games for kicking a woman in his... I believe he was in Cleveland. Does he live in Cleveland prior to getting released from Kansas City? I think that's where that whole thing went down. Or was it in a casino? I don't really remember where it wound up happening. I'll have the video queued up for later for the call-in show. I guess the good thing about him is if you trade for him, you're having him on a rental. So he's not going to re-sign with the Browns. If they want to get anything, get some picks for this year as opposed to waiting for the comp pick a year from now, you might be able to get him for like a 5th or a 6th round pick. And then if he leaves, because I don't think you'd re-sign Kareem Hunt unless he was coming back on like a cheap deal. Because I really like Carter and I really like Brees. So the idea of the 1-year rental or 10-game rental or whatever you're going to use him for would be you let him walk at the end of the season, you get a comp pick in 2024. That's okay. I'm all right with that because then it basically means you're getting Kareem Hunt for next to nothing. You're just waiting on that draft pick from this year to next year. So there's value in that. And not only are you getting a running back, right? You're getting a place kicker. Try to have some humor in this. Rad Maze Prime says, we are cursed, man. I feel it. Anthony, AVT hurts more. At least we have Michael Carter as a backup. As amazing as Hall was, AVT was the heart of our O-line. AVT was the heart of this offense. Seriously, this dude, such a beast. Leader by example, moving positions without being asked. That's a leader. If we could have 5 Elijah Vera-Tuckers, we'd have the best offensive line in history. Guy's incredible. Chris says, O-line needs to step up big this week. Give Zach all the time to find the wide receivers. Yeah, we're not getting Fant back this week. So maybe you get him back for Buffalo. Maybe it's after the bye. at least the right tackle, if there's going to be pressure, Zach seeing it in his face. Brown being back on the left side definitely helps, and you can kind of run more to that side behind him and Tomlinson. So maybe there's some hope there. It certainly hurts. This sucks. Hulk Smash Your Mom, we won our last 2 games with our defense and special teams. Sucks to lose them, though. Yeah, look, this is... we're going to need Zach to step up. We've been winning with our defense. We've been winning with our special teams. We can still win like that. But we're going to have to find other ways to be productive on offense because the running game is going to take a hit. I love Michael Carter, but it's going to take a hit with no Breece Hall. One positive in terms of Michael Carter. Not even just in terms of Michael Carter. Michael Carter's a great back. Michael Carter in forced missed tackles per touch in 2021 led the NFL percentage-wise. Nearly 30%. He had 54 forced missed tackles on 183, I'm assuming 183, is that touches? Or is that attempted tackles? Either way, dude's an animal. He's RB1. We just got to open up some lanes for him. But we're going to need to use the tight ends. We're going to need to use Elijah Moore. We're going to need to use Garrett Wilson. Elijah Moore, you wanted your tackles, or you wanted your touches? Sack up. This is where you earn your money. Forever Puddle says, stoked we're 5-2, but come on. Yeah. Cafe BTW, next person up. We keep playing. That's all we can do. 100%. Got to keep grinding. Who wants to earn their stripes? This is where you can earn a starting role. Your dream is playing in the NFL. Here's your opportunity. Make it happen. Robbie asks, can we beat the Patriots? And then 4 games after the bye, we could still make the playoffs. Go Jets. I'm curious to see what happens to the team this week. Are we coming up fired up? Or is there going to be some kind of like, I don't want to call it a reckoning, but more of like the emotions and everything just sort of hitting this team all at once. Losing 2 leaders in Breece and AVT. Having the Elijah Moore stuff kind of hanging over your head a little bit. Division rival coming in. I still think the Jets can win. I'm not really afraid of the Patriots. But this is a lot to overcome. A whole lot. And if we're asking Zach to win it for us, based on how he's played the last few weeks, not going to lie, I'd be a little concerned. Aaron says, every game is winnable, bar Bills in Buffalo. Maybe. 70 says, do you think AVT was overused every week to cover up the shitty quarterback play? Overworking our new running back could also be the reason for our quarterback playing like garbage. I don't think so. Just a thought. Zach Wilson has been incredible from a clean pocket. Like, his stats are phenomenal from a clean pocket. But he doesn't have a clean pocket very frequently. And he holds onto the ball that creates more pressure for himself. Dude was getting hit left, right, and sideways yesterday. So you don't want him to get shell-shocked. You want to be able to run the ball. Take time off the clock. Keep the other team's offense off the field. But you have these weapons. You drafted Garrett Wilson at number 10. You drafted Elijah Moore high in the second round. You brought in 2 stud tight ends this offseason. And you've got Michael Carter, who can be running back 1 on a bunch of teams around this league. You still have enough talent. This isn't like years past where the Jets have a guy goes down and the season's officially over. The Vera-Tucker one hurts. The Vera-Tucker one hurts because you've already lost Becton. You've lost Fant. You've lost Mitchell. Friggin' Brown on the other side is playing with a torn rotator cuff. These guys are showing out. playing through injuries. This is not something we've had happen in the past. Jets normally like, oh, okay, season's over. Guys pack it in. Let's get surgery. Brutal. Jay Spector says, on which play did AVT get injured? Our O-line are engaged too long blocking with Zach scrambling for his life. Need quick passes. I honestly don't know. I didn't realize he wasn't out there until I looked down. I was like, wait, when did AVT get knocked out? I don't know if I stood up and went to the bathroom. I missed it. But like I saw the flash come up and I was like, wait, no wonder this offensive line looks horrible. Our best offensive lineman's not on the field. JT says, feels like a swift kick to the nads. Yeah, I'd take that. Line up a field goal kicker, Zerline. Right here. Hit him hard. Let's get our boys back. Vera-Tucker, Brees. I think all of us would take a shot to the nuts to get these guys back. Ricky J says, this is going to speak volumes about how our offense or how our front office works, how the team responds to adversity. I do think that there's something, as much as I've been saying I don't really want to trade for a running back, the last 2 videos I made, I would consider trading for one because I do think it sends a signal to your team, a team that's now a little distraught because of these 2 injuries. I think there's an opportunity to make a move for a running back that kind of energizes the fan base, energizes the inside of this locker room. I do think you come out against the Patriots, you see what you can do, see how these guys are playing this week. The trade deadline, I believe, is November 1st. So you're talking, Tuesday? By that point, you will know if you beat the Patriots, is this team for real? Are we fighting the way we need to fight? By Tuesday, you'll know if the Browns are considered sellers or buyers at the trade deadline. They're facing the Cincinnati Bengals. If the Bengals come out and thump the Browns, they're going to be selling guys left and right. They're not holding on to Hunt after this year. Hunt doesn't want to play with Watson. So maybe you make the determination after the Patriot game. You already, regardless of whether you bring in Hunt now or any running back now, they're not playing this upcoming week. Maybe they're ready for Buffalo, but I think you give your team a chance to respond before shooting it in the arm with some juice. Then you go into the Buffalo game. Even if you were to lose the Buffalo game at home, at least you're energized. You're going to say, okay, at least after the bye, we're going to come out. We're going to have, Kareem Hunt. We're going to have an offensive line that's going to be clicking a little bit more than what we've kind of run into. We couldn't have asked for a better bye this year. But how this team handles adversity is going to be interesting. Richie asks, what's your thoughts on Bam Knight? That's why I think we call him up. I think you have Carter, Johnson, and Knight handle running back responsibilities this week. And then after the trade deadline, or not after the trade deadline, before the trade deadline, after the Patriot game, you reassess and you decide, can you get a shot in the arm? Is it worth giving up, that late round pick for a 10-year or a 9-game rental of any running back? I think they'll think about it. Brett says, like you said, Ryan, AVT is the heart of the offense. First one running down the field to chase down teammates that score and made a huge play. Leader, too lean on the offensive line will be a huge challenge. Yeah, look, we're going to need to go depth for this offensive line next year. It's amazing just how many injuries we've had. This is like the worst offensive line injury-wise that I've ever seen from the New York Jets. We have so much depth, and it's all gone. Everything's gone. Absolutely ridiculous. I don't even know how to respond to that. Junior asks, what's going to happen to future Hall of Favor Elijah Moore? Is he going to play or not? I think he's going to play. I think he's going to have an opportunity to kind of prove it to his teammates, prove it to the fan base that he's a team player. This is how Elijah Moore wins over the fan base and wins over the coaching staff. Shut your mouth and play. and make plays. We need you. We need Garrett Wilson. We need Michael Carter. It's all hands on deck. Elijah Moore, how do you respond? Billy says, Brees and AVT were out against Denver and we still won. The Pats D ain't Denver's D. Yes, but we also scored 9 points from our kicker, and if we didn't have Brees Hall in that game, we don't score that long touchdown. Not to mention Denver missed 4 points, a missed extra point and a missed field goal. So if you're playing that game, Jets would have to have that last drive. It didn't happen. Robbie Oak, I'm right there with you. He says, worst victory Monday ever. Next man up. Nothing is over. Next man up, baby. We'll get it figured out. 1189 Paris says, Buffalo Bills are clearly better than the Jets. The rest of the AFC isn't as strong. Look, Jets can still make the playoffs. We're going to have to win some games that we thought were going to be a little bit easier. May not be as easy as we once thought now. Let's see. What are you guys talking about down here? Zhao coming in from Buffalo territory says, as a Bills fan, I'm truly sorry to hear about your injury misfortune. It's the most unfortunate and impactful aspect of the game. Hang in there, New York Jets. Next man up, baby. It's nice to hear. Thank you. Still sucks. It's rough. I was really looking forward to like a healthy Jets versus healthy Bills team. It would have been fun. Manny Carr, is it possible to get Tevin Coleman back? I think so. I think he signed with the 49ers. So maybe you throw like a conditional pick for him now that they have CMC over there. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like I'd rather go with like maybe give it a pick higher for Hunt or Akers or someone like that. Something that sends a message to the team. The locker room's going to need a shot in the arm. It feels like we kind of lost a little bit of air here. Parrish says, this is not fantasy football. The Jets are building a winning culture. Having rentals will cost the Jets long term. Yes and no. It depends on what kind of pick. I'm not suggesting giving up a third-round pick or higher for any rental. That's not in the cards for me. Now, a lower pick, 4, 5, 6, 7, somewhere in there, I'm all about it because especially if you get a good running back who runs well behind a relatively decent run-blocking offensive line from what we've seen the last few weeks against some teams that maybe aren't the best towards the tail end of the schedule. That player is setting themselves up to get themselves a nice contract. And the Jets aren't going to re-sign him because we have Carter and we have Brees Hall. So that whoever we get is a rental. But the Jets can get a comp pick back. So it's essentially like trading a draft pick this year for one next year while also having a running back that you can use. So I think it is something to strongly consider. Justin Lyons says, Salah 100% earns Coach of the Year if the Jets make the playoffs. I don't think so. I think that's going to Daboll, at least at this point right now. I feel like Pete Carroll's got to be up there too. Losing Russell Wilson, getting that monster trade, and having Geno Smith play the way he did, it's impressive. Mariano says, Elijah Moore can prove everyone wrong. This is his chance. This is how you show the fan base that you're a team player. Come in, help the team win. Put your body on the line like these guys did. That's what I want to see. Billy says, I want to see Bam come out and show us something against the Pats. Dude, there's one game I want to win. It's the Pats game. In the worst way. Worst way. And I wanted to run it down their throat. I want to run up the score. Man, now I just want to win. I just want to win. Whatever it takes. Jay says, D needs to dominate in every game. We still have talent on offense. Zach needs to grow a pair and produce like a number 2 pick. Yeah, look, we haven't needed him the last 2 weeks. We've had some incredibly tough defenses to play. The Jets have an opportunity here with some I don't want to say weaker defenses, but they're not number 1 overall or number 5 overall, whatever the Packers defense was. And, yesterday was obviously a strong defense. The Jets and Zach Wilson have an opportunity here to start throwing it around the yard. And that's what we're going to need. We're going to need it ASAP. The Juice Main says, obviously Moore doesn't care about winning. We were on a streak when he has to be traded. Get real. He's phoning it in for sure now. We'll find out this week. Like, let's be serious. He showed up for practice. The Jets were the ones that deactivated him. He didn't ask to sit out of the game. I don't know. I'm not going to lie. He's in my doghouse. I still feel the way I feel about him. But he can win us back. Man up. Giovanni says, even though losing AVT and Hall is devastating, but to win in the playoffs, Zach is going to have to throw the ball. Not liking the fact that he has been mediocre throwing the football. Yeah, look, I'm not going to lie. The last few games of Zach, 120 yards, 115 yards, whatever we had the last 2 weeks, really not encouraging. Now, we didn't need to throw. Like, I think the whole fourth quarter during the Packers game, we didn't throw a pass. So, like, you're talking 120 yards in 3 quarters of play as opposed to, 4. I don't know. We need Zach to play big, though. Tyler says these 2 injuries hurt so bad. Brees was our whole offense. We really couldn't afford to lose these 2. Completely agree. Kenneth asking, any update on Mitchell or Fant? I don't know anything on Mitchell yet. Fant is cleared from IR, but he's not going to play this week. Salah already said that. I would bet Fant comes back after the bye week. I don't think they're going to try and bring anyone back during the Bills game next week. Justin says, Zach also has to be able to make those easier throws if we want to have the chance. Can't be overthrowing wide open receivers. Yeah, and I want to see, I don't want to see the running around and scrambling quite so much behind the line of scrimmage. I want to see some 3-step drops. I want to see quick slants. I want to see, screens to Michael Carter, Ty Johnson, if he can catch the ball. That's what I want to see. Mutt Viles coming in, showing some enthusiasm. We are still going to win. Your lips, God's ears. I hope so. CMMADD says, there's never a dull moment for us Jet fans. Are we allowed to be happy? Is that part of the NFL rules? Or is the deck stacked against us? Because it feels like whenever we're about to get happy or be happy or have success, it's just another kick down the ladder. Just hitting every branch on the way down. Matt seems to agree. Zach needs to air it out these next few weeks. I want to see him go for 300 yards. Re-energize the fan base. Just fucking throw it all over the yard. 50 passes. Fuck it. Who cares? Just ball out. That's what I want to see. At this point, as much as I want the playoffs, I want to see Zach take that step. And if him throwing the ball 50 friggin' times a game is how it gets done, let's go. Tom says, people forget these last 4 games were basically Zach's preseason games, except it was against 4 really good defenses, but now we definitely need him. Tom, this is a great point. This is one that I've brought up to people before. Zach Wilson missed the 3 preseason games, missed 4 weeks of training camp, and missed 3 regular season games. So along with missing all that training, camp time and practice, he's essentially having his preseason games against the hardest defenses in the league. That's what I'm hoping and hanging my hat on. Hopefully we get to see, a little bit more spark out of the quarterback now that the defenses are not quite as monstrous. Buffalo's still got a tough D. And the Patriots are no slouches. But they're not Denver. It's Snoopy says, Ryan, we have to find out what David Stein thinks. For those of you wondering, David Stein is the quote-unquote burner account for Elijah Moore. I was going to make a video on that. I thought about it, and I was like, I don't know. The only, posts I saw from that Twitter account were all from, the day of the trade rumor coming out, and it felt more like a fan or like a family friend that may have made it more so than a player's burner. Like if you had a player's burner, or if you were a player and you had a burner, you're probably having it longer than that and not just tweeting immediately after shit goes wrong with you. You'd be saying other stuff earlier before then. So I don't know if I buy that quite so much. J-Boy says, Ryan, do you think we are in win now mode? I think if you don't make a move for a back or some type of exciting thing happens, like if Zach goes off this week against the Patriots, it's going to re-energize this locker room. I think if you don't do anything and Zach flounders this week, the season's going to go rough real quick. I really do. Now, this defense is no joke, so maybe they keep us in it. Sauce has a swagger like no one else. CJ Mosley has been, playing well. Quentin Williams having himself a great season. So this team's leadership does run through the defensive side of the ball, but AVT was that offensive voice. So are we in a win now mode? I'm not looking to break bank. If we were in a win now mode, like serious Super Bowl, then I'd consider moving some of our high picks. But moving a 4th through 7th round pick for an additional player, I don't think that considers you win now. But I think it does energize the team. Hennessy says, take my ALC and tricep. Yeah, we're going to start a donation, a GoFundMe. We're all going to donate an ACL. We're going to put it in Breece Hall. He's going to have 30 ACLs. Vera-Tucker, I got 2 triceps. I can give up one of them. Take it. Get this man back on the field. John comes in and says, we deserve to be happy. Coaching will shine through. Mark my words. Dude, this is where coaching and scheming has to help us win games. Because it wasn't really done by the quarterback. Now, he hasn't turned the ball over the last few games, which has helped. But he hasn't really been the reason we've won. And I feel like we're seeing a lot of 5 and 7-step drops with an offensive line that's not great. With, now we don't have the running back, so I don't know how much play action is really going to factor in. I'm curious to see what happens. Do teams start to drop more guys into coverage thinking Zach's going to have to throw more, which might allow some openings for Michael Carter? Or, I don't know. Or do they stack the box and force Zach to throw because they're not afraid of Zach? Coaching's going to have to help. Kenny says, it feels like our deck is 52 jokers. We just need next man up culture. Keep the winning culture going. If we can get some wins here after sustaining all these injuries, that is a huge nod to the coaching staff and these players. The fact that they're not giving up and they're still fighting. Salah looked flat. I'm not going to lie. That press conference, he knows these were big injuries. I think he's going to stay positive. I think he's going to, preach the next man up personality. He's going to preach next man up. But I don't know if that's going to be enough to overcome some of this stuff. Fingers crossed. RTW, getting a little fired up, says, y'all have got to be kidding me. The sky is not falling. Offensive coordinator needs to start calling quick passes. Stop playing games, setting up the fourth quarter. This team has balls and will put them out, son. Drop your trousers. Let them hang out. Show us the balls. Come on. Oh, someone's going to clip that. Fantastic. J-Boy asking, you doing a call-in show? Yes, I will be doing a call-in show tonight, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. I want to hear the fan base's thoughts. How do we overcome this? Who do you want to trade for? Do you want to trade for anyone? All that good stuff. So I will be doing my call-in show tonight. I'll make the event page for that after I finish this video here. Look, frustrating. Frustrating all the way around. Let's see who we got. Billy. We still have weapons. If our offensive line even plays fair, this team still gets wins. Yeah, I think you're right. I think we have enough talent on offense for the first time in a very long time. So to be able to keep Zach upright and get the ball into our playmakers' hands in space, let them make a guy miss and run for some yardage. Look, we took the Super Bowl champs, the Bucs, to the final play of the game. We took the GOAT, Tom Brady, to the final play of the game with a beat-up roster, a way worse defense than we have this year, way less weapons than we currently have right now. The only one we had was Barrios. Everyone else was hurt. We're going to have an opportunity here. This team's not going to back down. Matt says, since Moore is apparently playing this weekend, let's feed him over the middle and give him a few touches out of the backfield. Prove it or shut up. I would love to see Elijah Moore get utilized similarly to like Deebo Samuel, but he is like a foot shorter. I shouldn't say a foot, but Elijah Moore's got to be what, 5'8", 5'9", 190 pounds soaking wet. Deebo's probably 6'1", 6'2", 220. There's a size difference there. But yeah, look, Elijah Moore, you want touches? Let's manufacture some touches for this guy. Oh, man. Frustrating stuff. Scott V says, the Giants are winning with less talent. It feels like their coaching's doing I don't want to say a much better job because we're doing well too. So I don't want to say that. But Daniel Jones is definitely playing better than Zach Wilson right now. I would say we have faced harder competition defensively these last few weeks. But the Giants have strung together some nice wins. They're not a pushover team. I still would take the Jets long term over the Giants right now, just because it seems like youth-wise we kind of have a little bit more there. But look, if the Giants can do it, we can do it. George Wise says, use more like they do Tyreek Hill. So you have to start playing like Tyreek Hill then. We'll see. Duncan says, we must have brought the MetLife turf with us to Denver. That's what it feels like, right? Jets picked up all the turf from MetLife. They're like, okay, yeah, no, injuries haven't been happening at home. Let's plop this down on the away field and then just have everyone get hurt. Everyone gets hurt. I don't know, boys and girls. Look, I'm frustrated. I'm not going to lie. This one, as much as the Breece Hall one hurt, I was not expecting out for the season for Vera-Tucker. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, look, we can figure it out with running back. Losing your best offensive lineman after you've already lost a bunch of other offensive linemen? I'd be lying if I said I was not feeling super confident right now. Next man up. That's all we got to keep saying. All right, boys and girls, I'm going to end that right here. That's enough for me. Just wanted to get some of your thoughts. I'm going to be doing the call-in show 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock tonight, so I want to hear your guys' thoughts on everything going on around the New York Jets, the game against Denver, the losses of Breece Hall and AVT. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section and in the call-in show later on. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Jets Talk signing off. JETS.